Yeah, it's still the same. It seems better. Hey, family. I don't know how much better it is, but it's started healthy anyway. Hello, hello, hello. Still giving me arrows. David, what's up? From Texas. Yeah, I'm still having problems. I'm sorry. Yeah, JJ, I'm sorry. Still getting the same problem. It's my internet. Hey, James. Nope. Brian, it's not, unfortunately. Still buffering badly. David, that's cool. Hopefully you can hear me. Still pretty bad on my end. Mike, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Scotty, how you doing? I put the kilobits as low as I could on OBS, so hopefully it's at least somewhat watchable. By the way, Corey, Camacho Black Label's a nice cigar. um, how is the video feed, and can you hear me? Um, Cats, that's probably what you need to do. Um, the rule of Pluto, what's the best ball joint remover, front suspension tools? The OTC or the snap-on ball joint presses, the OTC with the snappable adapters or the snap-on are pretty much the end-all be-all of ball joint tools. Mueller Cups makes a bunch of good suspension stuff as well. A lot of the some of the OTC stuff, I don't know whether they've moved their production back to the USA, but I know the Chinese ones they made for a while were not good. But I don't know where they're making them now. Mueller Cup stuff is tough. So look at those couple brands. Still 64% drops frames on my end. Scotty, I'm glad I dropped the kilobit rate way down, so the quality is going to be crap. But it is, it's all I can do at this point. I'm at 2,500 kilobits, and I'm jumping between 2,000, 2,800, and that's about it. Freddie, how you doing? Darren, glad it's looking better. Doing the best I can with the internet I've got apparently right now. Like I said, the quality is probably going to be crap, but at least maybe it won't buffer. Kale, glad to hear it. Famous Slick Rick, hi my friend. It's so great to see you again. How you been doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? 5x5 Lima Charlie, Jolly Roger. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm fighting bad internet right now. Scotty Frazier says, "What's up, brother? I'm attempting to work on another craft besides automotive songwriting. Feel like I'm back in school trying to write a paper for an English class. LOL. Yeah, no, I mean the writing a good song is not easy. All you got to do is listen to most modern music, and you know how bad it can be. Plus, it takes like 30 songwriters to write one song." Chuck Phillips, yeah, the snap-on press is really good. The OTC with the similar style adapters is also really good. Freddie Vasquez, yeah, I see your name. So hopefully the stream's doing a little bit better. Carl, internet problems, yes. For a second right now, It's saying excellent connection, so see where my kilobits are at. Oop, just drop down, of course. Um, yes, say or sigh. Uh, I'm sorry. The it is what it is, but it's saying healthy. I'm at 2,500 kilobits per second, which is way below what it's supposed to be. But if it's not buffering, we're good. I'm down from 68% drop frames to 20% drop frames, so a lot better. Um, cats, uh, you definitely want to bench bleed. You definitely don't want to use a master cylinder real hard, especially you want to do it really slow till you get brake fluid on the seals because they're square cut seals and they're really easy to roll. So you always want to bench bleed. Bare ass, have you thought about a job outside of the automotive industry? Yep. I am exploring all of my options at this point. You know, Jacob, long neck Milwaukee or standard length, long neck all day long. Uh, I personally prefer um, the long necks. Over, I pretty much only grab those when it comes to Milwaukee. The standard ones I just don't grab. The few times you can't get them where you need them, get them. You know, I grab them, but that's about it. 99% of the time, I'm using the long necks. Kale, you're missing out. The long necks are. I love my Milwaukee long necks. Val, I appreciate it. You know, stream health is finally decent. But my kilobits are still very low, but that's, you know, hey, it's good enough. Bear, start a house painting company? No. No, I do not like heights. Not getting up on my fat butt up on a ladder on especially around here. Most houses tend to be 3 levels. Rocks, I ain't making any hours. I'm sorry. It happens. Devin, to this day, I thank you for showing me semi-deep sockets. Yeah, no, I love semi-deeps. You know, the only semi-deeps I haven't invested in is 1/2 inch and with swivels and all that, and you know, 3/8. Haven't needed them, but I've thought about them many times. Freddie, I just moved to the forklift industry. Well, forklifts need a lot of work. Eric Hand, have you used the Matco ball joint press? Yes, I own the Matco ball joint press. The not the X frame one, the one that you know scissors, but this traditional C frame one with the snap in style adapters. Yes, I've used that. It works very well. I would get the master set, not the basic kit. David, I'm with you. No heights. Ground bound, please. Little background on me. When I was 11 or 12, I was hanging from a branch in a tree, fell down, broke both arms. So that was not fun. Eyeball room, is there a use for extra deep in automotive? Big trucks are handy for caging brakes and fuel tank straps, yes. Most of the tool trucks and other companies sell extra long sockets for specific applications. Power strokes. Is the audio working? um, uh, Power stroke, the band clamps for the boost tubes are 11 millimeter. BMW uses multiple 10 millimeters. I don't know. Nate says my audio is broke. I'm like, but yes, I've got a set of them. Used them all the time. Have you, Mr. Bluestone? Have you considered a mobile business or starting your own shop? Um, shop Actual shops around here are really hard to come by buildings. So it's you got to have a lot of capital to do that, and not something I'm interested in getting into with the economy the way it is. Um, Mobile businesses, no, not really. Mobile programming, stuff like that in Atlanta, that business model is completely saturated. So unless you know a lot of shop owners, you're not going to be able to make a dent in that. Famous Rick, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody that watches my videos and supports me. So thank you very much. Autotech Jesse, just getting into electrical diag. Any recommendations on what I should get for tools? Incandescent test light, first and foremost. A good DVOM, digital volt ohm meter. Back probes, piercing tools, along with liquid electrical tape, especially if you're up north. But always, if you pierce, always seal it back up. But piercing probes for where you can't back probe or it's too small, etc. A U scope would be really handy for getting into basics of scoping, that kind of stuff. And then obviously tools to fix wires, soldering iron, shrink wrap, tubing, leaded solder. Don't go with the silver stuff. That stuff sucks. Cats, if you roll the seal, no, it requires replacing the master cylinder. Chances are, if you have a pedal and it's just weak, it might be air in the system. Bench bleeding usually doesn't roll too much on bench bleeding because you've already filled the at the seal. It's just when you put it on the master cylinder and start pumping, and it may roll the seal. But generally, I would guess you probably just have air in the system. I made diag time for an oil change. Don't ask. LOL. All right. Cool, Nate. I'm glad it was you. Jacob, brushless or non-brushless? Brushless all day long. Brushed is old technology. They're much weaker. Anything you need electrical, brushless. Jolly Roger, best single up-to-date source for manufacturer approved lift points. ALI. Look up ALI, Automotive Lift Institute. They will send you a manual, I believe, for free. And it should be updated to all current makes and models. But ALI is where if you get a brand new lift, it comes with a lift guide. So, but that's who you get it from. Bear, be a plumber or electrician? No. Scotty Fraser thinking of getting the Matco Hyperstep drill bit set. Worth the money? Oh, heck yes. Very much worth the money. The Cobalt sets are even better. I mean, they just drill. Um, sorry, I just got a warning that my kilobits is lower, but see where I'm at on things. Let's try stepping it up a little bit. Go to output 35 grid. Let's try that. Mm. I just changed my kilobits up a little bit, see if it improves a little bit. So we'll see how that. Okay, we're good. Okay. Used an extra deep 19 on a Selby track car with extra long wheel studs. I have a Craftsman 3/4 that comes in really handy for a lot of different things because it has no steps or anything like that, and it's really deep. Dealer, I'm open to whatever is the best opportunity for me. Rocks, yeah, Vala Milk, yeah, no, I don't climb trees. Caesar Sanchez, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, good stuff. Any recommendations on reasonably priced tools for home gamers? I'm assuming you mean home, at-home DIYing stuff. Gear wrench, Sonex, Gray Pneumatic, Vim, Icon. Hey, Stream Health. Excellent. Yay. All those brands are really good. You should start a shop and hire me, LOL. Yeah, eyeball room. The incandescent test light is invaluable. Sometimes with no load on a circuit, that meter will lie to you. Yes. Yes. You can carry 12 volts across one strand of wire. You put a load on it, it can't. Yeah. ALI, American Lift Institute, I believe is what it is. Yeah. Freddie, I was wondering what you're talking about because I'm like, what? Yes, semi deeps are bell housings are fantastic, especially when they've got the little studs that your swivels are too short for. Semi deep on a impact swivel, money. Rocks. I live in Atlanta. Donnie, I've got plenty of opportunities. I haven't decided on anything yet. Uh, Tecton 2 as well. It's always a brand I forget about. Capri as well. I've got some Capri. I don't have much in the way of Tecton, but Capri, I've got some tools and they've been good. I bought them because I didn't have a full set of SAE um, hex sockets, and I bought a set of those and they've been great. Yes, yes, down to 5%. So nice. Justin, what do you mean quick release ratchets? Oh, talking about with the button. Um, it they used to be really really popular. Um, I'm sure you're referring to the button. Um, it fell out of favor mostly because of Snap-on. Um, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I haven't used usually when I have I have some ratchets that have the button on them, and honestly, I forget the button's there, and then sitting there trying to get the socket off. Rocks, I got $40. How much snap-on tools can I get? One socket. Bear, be an in and out transmission shop guy? No, thank you. Doing heavy line all day, miserable. I do not like heavy line. Yeah, David Tecton, when purchased from their website, gives you tool dollars on your purchase. Definitely good for an entry level tech. Explore all your options. Flat rate male gigolo. Sorry, catching up on the live stream. Well, unfortunately, for the first part of my 2 live streams, you missed a whole lot of buffering. No, my wife might have a problem with that. Yeah, Justin. I mean, I used them back in the day, but when I switched to snap-on ratchets, I mean, back in the day, I mean, your options were SK, which I didn't have much option of buying SK where I lived. Cheap Taiwanese stuff and the tool trucks, and tool trucks really didn't have the quick release stuff. So you didn't get the quick release if you wanted quality, at least in my area, because that literally all I had was Sears, Husky. There was one place that sold SK near me, but they never had anything. Um, Donnie, I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll find a good place to go. Eric, do you miss using your tools and using your toolbox daily? Yep. Jolly Roger, did your previous shop have a tire age limitation on repairs? They did very, very, very few tire repairs. Um, uh, very little in the way of tires. Tires at that shop went up and down, depending on, I don't know. I mean, they decided to sell a bunch of tires, and then they wouldn't sell any tires, but not a lot of tire repairs. Bear, be a yoga instructor. Yeah, I ain't got that kind of flexibility. Hung like Bigfoot. um, Another reason dealerships or any companies go through employees because of lack of training. Master mechanics should remember there was a time when they were new. Yes, I mean, there's a lot of that issues in the industry where people won't share their knowledge or help. I've Before I was a shop foreman, I still helped all the young kids. Um, but yeah, we should help our younger generation if we can. Tim, I have a long handle 3/8 snap on with quick release, and I love it. Cool. I didn't know they made a lot of those. Carl, any news on Eric the car guy? Um, Eric the car guy, as in the YouTuber, I'm not actually friends with. I don't know him. I've never met him. I mean, I follow him. I follow him on Instagram. He's supposed to be. He's currently editing a video on a limited slip differential, so he might have some content coming, but he still doesn't have a shop. Philly D, gotta love SK tools. They're pretty. Um, when I did my wrench testing, SK was the only one that shattered. So I don't have good things with the modern SK stuff. And their quality went like this, depending on who owned them over the years. Mr. Jones, hey buddy, any good suggestions on a small, inexpensive, portable scope? AES Wave, the U scope. It is a powerhouse little handheld scope. It's a small screen, but you can do a lot with it. I mean, It is very, very good. It's a good tool to learn on, and they're a couple $100. Henry is 35, too old to be starting as a mechanic. Nope. Uh, no, it's not. As long as you're physically healthy, you can start anytime you need to. I mean, you are going to be starting at the bottom, so that's something you're going to have to worry about. Is you are going to be starting at the bottom of the profession and have to work your way up. Milk 40 will get you about 3 packs of Snap-on beef jerky. Mr. Practical Mechanic brings me home surprises. Really? 3 packs? I think they're more expensive than that, Val. Jake, I appreciate it. He's been a fan of the channel for a long time. Keep on being you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Philly, depending on the generation, he's talking about the older SK stuff. Depending on the generation, some of the stuff, and I don't remember the manufacturers because they were bought out like I think 6 times in their past. There was good stuff, there was bad stuff. A lot of the good stuff that Craftsman made was actually made by SK. I'm on hold buying Snap-on because I lost my 10 millimeter in a customer's car, and our truck guy didn't want to give me another with the warranty. LOL. Lose it and ain't under warranty, baby. Outdoors man, what are your favorite trim tools for removing trim, like door panels and those stout dash trim panels? Aircraft panel skin tool. It is the best panel clip tool on the planet. See if I can find a picture. Of course, it's going to be right in my way, but this thing right here, that thing right there is the best panel clip tool. Let's see if I can find, see if this will come up a little bit better. Let's move my camera. Try that. Yeah, this thing right here, it is called a skin metal skin wedge pry tool, something like that, or they're now being sold on the Snap-on truck and all that. That is the best panel clip tool on the planet for separating panels, not, like plastic clips, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is the best clip tool on the planet. Daniel B-C, I've got a question for dealership. When I go work for a dealership, can I use my own computer or someone on their computer for service manuals and data? That is going to 100% depend on that dealership's IT department and what they allow. Many dealerships will not allow outside devices to be hooked to their network. Other IT guys have no problem hooking you they won't, it's just going to depend. So some dealerships will let you hook to their network with your own computer. You have your own login on all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Brian McFarland, $50 for 3 of those. They're $14.99 for one of them. I just literally Googled it. So you can buy them for $15. $50 probably on the Snap-on truck because they're under Blue Point. But yeah, you can buy them for like $15. They're not lethal. They're not sharp. Outdoor Man goes, they are, you trust me, you can put them behind a panel, and it will not damage anything. I mean, it just is, everything's beveled. They're smooth. They are just awesome. Chris, hey, he's in Ohio. Mason, hi. Uh, Bear, could you be half as good with crappy tools? Um, Depends on what crappy tools you're talking about. I mean, I can diagnose a car with a code reader. Not always, but I can and have. um, yeah, Brian, when you buy quality, you cry once. Uh, yeah, like hung like Bigfoot said, he started at 38 in diesel, so you definitely can. Daniel BC, next question. What part of your body used to lift a tire? I generally roll big, heavy tires up my leg, meaning I roll it up and then I lift it up. So it's at basically my waist. I try to lift as little as possible with my back. Yeah. Rocks, IT, you know, IT at a dealership can be a very weird thing. Bear, I have no idea on who came up with buy once, cry once. Shane, the job search is going fine. Henry, yeah, no, I do my best to give every option. Um, you know, it's always good to have options. And the thing about it is nowadays, compared to when I first started, um, there's a lot more good options. Back when I started, I mean, there wasn't much. Brian, have you gotten a lot of positive feedback on your recent videos about being honest in your work and treating the customer right? Yeah, I mean, generally, most people want to do the right thing. So, yeah. Now, feedback on the short I did where I repurposed the hourly techs are lazy, prove me wrong video. I got a lot of negative feedback on that one. But I've got the Freddie flat rate stuff coming up soon, so they'll have some payback on the flat rate guys. Um, Daniel BC, have you worked in a dealership? Not in the service department. I briefly worked in the sales department. Have you ever done a pre-delivery inspection, and what's that fun? Uh, Depending on how you do it, because I've seen lots of techs that have gotten. I've seen lots of cars that have not been properly PDI'd, and you know, don't do that. Do it right. Brand new car that they didn't check torque on anything, and the subframe was literally shifting all over the place. It cost them two new bolts, or no, six new bolts because they're torque to yield, and cost them an alignment on a brand new car. And I told them to take it back to the dealer. They didn't want to, so or at least that's what the service writer told me. But yeah, I mean, there's a checklist when you get to do a PDI. The Toyota dealerships here in Atlanta actually don't do PDIs. They're done in Chattanooga. So they already get them pre-PDI'd. So, you know, Chris, are you going to stay in Georgia for right now? My kids are still in school, so moving's not really an option right now because, you know, both of them are in their last year of school before they graduate. My daughter from college, my son from high school. Rocks. PDI is just putting plates on. LOL. Yeah. Okay. Rudy, more videos, please. I'm already doing 4 videos a week, man. Come on. Plus all the shorts I'm doing, because I'm doing 2 of those a day on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. The reason I stopped doing a short on the same days I do uploads is it was hurting the main video. So that's why I moved them to just doing days I don't have videos, alive. It doesn't matter. And then the weekend, more more liberal goober. I mean, Luber Goober. Freddie glucosamine is great for vitamin, and basketball knee pads are great for short kneeling work. By no means are knee braces. Yeah, I did kneeling pads. Mr. Jones, thanks for the input on that scope. I'll check it out. Any thoughts about maybe opening a mobile diagnostic LLC? I don't know you mean for you or for me. For me in Atlanta, it's the market is completely saturated. There's really, so many companies do it now in this area that it'd really be hard to break in. Rudy, what about the tech shortage? There's lots of ads, so good shops that pay right usually don't have tech problems, but Brian, have you made jury rigged a custom tool to do specific work? I've got a custom cut socket for a specific Acura power steering line. I didn't have a crow's foot that size, but I had an old socket, so I cut it up and used that. But I don't have a lot of, I usually at this point I just buy the right tool. Daniel BC, why does everybody talk about the Honda crank bolt? You've obviously never tried to take one out. Honda crank bolts are notoriously hard to break loose. In one case, there was 3 of us. One of us holding one breaker bar with a cheater bar. Another guy holding the special tool. Both of us with cheater bars, and we bent a snap-on pry bar, or not a pry bar, but a breaker bar. That's why they sell the weighted sockets for specifically those cars, because they can be a mother. For a long time before those special sockets came out, I used a 3/4 impact. So, T-Flow, can you post a poll asking who's hourly or flat rate? Yeah, I guess I can. Any thoughts on Aztec? If anybody's in the audience is not familiar, they're a mobile programming kind of company. They've had some restructuring, so I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I'm not sure if they still have their field teams anymore or they're just doing it over the internet. I'm not sure. But supposedly they do okay. I problem with mobile programming stuff that requires LSID is the person that has the car has to have an LSID, which gets into some stuff where you can't finish the repair because you can't program keys. So that's one of the big ones. Henry Lewis, how do guys flag 100 hours a week? I want to get to that level. 100 hours a week repeatedly is hard. Don't think that it's an easy thing to do. You have to really you have to be really, 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 really efficient. You have to be really, really knowledge on the cars you're working on, meaning you've done those jobs many, many times, or you're flush at everything and just ripping customers off or not doing the repairs. It is possible to do 100 hours a week. I'm not saying it's not, but you have to be really efficient and you have to have the right cars and right jobs constantly to maintain that, especially. Um, 70, 80 hours is more realistic. Um, Dylan Lee Mullins making the transition from dealer loop tech, $17 an hour, to dealer flat rate. My new position as a flat rate technician will be $21 per hour. Any tips on how to adjust? Don't worry about your hours. Worry about the quality of your repairs. Make sure you limit your comebacks, because the comebacks you don't get paid for. So, just focus on doing the job well. Speed will come with time. Don't rush. Just do the job right. You'll be surprised how quickly you can just bust through certain jobs and make hours. But don't rush. Just do it as best you can, and then speed will come with time. Yeah, Timothy Newman there is no labor shortage. There's just a wage shortage. Um, Daniel BC, don't know what you mean there. You might want to read. Okay, I see it later in the chat. What's the tallest or shortest or big fat guy mechanic you've ever met? Oh. Tallest was about 6'8", I think. Met a lot of guys that were mid 6'5". Shortest, 5'6", 5'7". Big guys, I've met a bunch of those. I'm not gonna guess on their weights. Yeah, Philly D, very tight until it broke free, then it spins right out. Yes, Honda crank bolts. Chris, thanks for putting out all your content over the years. I'm a long time lurker. Opened a shop in 2016. I'm in SFA. I'm a tech at heart, though. Any advice for the best method for tool allowance? I assume for your techs. You know, talk to your techs. The best advice I can give you is they'll kind of give you there's always going to be that a-hole that goes, I want $1,000 a month. Talk to your guys, see what they kind of think is fair from you, and it'll give you an idea of what your tool allowance for them should be. Daniel BC, what can a customer do to make a mechanic happy to work on your vehicle? Clean it. If you went mudding, wash it off. If you've got trash in your car, before you drop it off, clean it out and make sure you don't drop it off empty. My favorite is the customer that drops off a car with an intermittent problem that only happens every now and then, and it's got no gas in it. Snap on Autotech and document pre and post scans. Yep, and yep. Rich, I don't know what you missed. How tall is too tall to be a mechanic? Depends on what you do. I mean, if you're a big guy, doing dashes really sucks. I'm not that big, and cramming my butt inside an interior sucks. Henry Lewis, yeah, 100-hour guys at my shops have comebacks. Probably a good bit. Rudy, how much were you paid? A lot. Bear, love you, Mike. Remember, treat bears right. Yeah, I'll stay the heck away from actual bears. Brian McFarland, have you ever met a tech that truly had bad luck all the time when doing repairs? Um, I've met, every tech has the horror stories. Most of the time when they have bad luck, it's they did it to themselves. You know, usually they do stuff that causes them to, have problems. Oh, this bolt's not turning. Let me keep wrenching on it, and then it breaks and they've got to extract it, stuff like that. Italy, if you personally had the choice, would you be flat rate or hourly? Flat rate. Well, Chuck, there you go. 6'5", 340, and 556 years old. Home mechanics add free gas with all the money they charge? No. In fact, we charge them to put gas in it and for the gas. Aaron Townsend. Aaron, Kleenex in the door handle is the absolute worst, especially when it's wet. Rich, instead of an allowance, buy tools for the shop, write it off, don't charge interest as they pay. Bostonian, just wanted to say I love watching. I'm a flat rate collision tech, but I like hearing your opinions on the industry as well. I appreciate it. Uh, Daniel BC, I am short. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing work, but before I do, I'm going to buy that version of the Snap-on Creeper for the dashboard. Topside Creepers, who makes it? It's a topside creeper, so Sawyer's job search is going fine. I've got plenty of prospects. Used condoms would probably be the worst. How about used female things? Greasy bottles of lube. Plugs that go in certain orifices. Seen all that. Chris, have you ever considered consulting to help grow Foremans? I don't really know if there's anybody out there doing that, so I haven't really considered it. Timothy Newman, I had a car the other day where immediately as the advisor pulled the car out, it ran out of gas. The customer also deferred the bulbs he asked us to look at after I pulled the fog light bulb. Uh, yes, I've had that happen. Had it happen where a car ran out of gas in my bay when I went to pull out. Bear women techs, I like them. I mean, we need all the skill in this industry we can get. I don't care what, doesn't matter to me whether they got man boobs or women boobs. They can fix cars. That's all that matters. Yeah, all that is bad. Jolly Roger, most unreasonable customer war story. Have to think about that one. Um, S Wrangler. I'm not saying that word because I don't want to get demonetized. Do you still represent yourself as a Navy SEAL? I've never represented myself as a Navy SEAL. Uh, Shane, what about when they have a wheel lock and you ask the customer about it and they have no idea what you're talking about, but it's all gone? Always fun. I hate wheel locks. They're stupid. Uh, Rudy, are you allowed to tell us why you got fired? That'll be a video. Stormy Young broomstick with a condom on it and brown stuff on the end. Yeah. What is the worst GM job you've ever done? Because I want to work at GM. Um, Anything to do with a Cadillac North Star. Which working at a GM dealer, you probably won't see a whole lot of those anymore. But anything with a North Star sucks. Do you charge an extra diagnostic fee when it runs out of gas? Charging for gas and getting gas. Earplugs. Val, what you mean? Oh, conversation about weird stuff. Yeah, earplugs don't bother me that much. Um, but yeah, nasty. Anything that goes in your body should not be left in your car when it's getting serviced. Uh, Dylan Lee Mullins. I currently work at a Stellantis dealer, which is Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, etc. So far, Mopar works seems pretty easy. I'm mostly the one handling the express harder jobs like brakes and alignments. Thanks for the tip, FRM. Yeah, generally Jeeps aren't too bad to work on. They're not. They don't pay the best, but uh, you know, it is what it is. Once you get used to working on them, they're not usually not that hard to actually do the work. So customer pay, you can usually easily beat it. Bear, Mike, do you like pulling engines? No, I don't like heavy line. I would rather have a scope or a scan tool in my hand than a huge hunk of metal. Brian McFarland, in terms of quality and price, what's the most improved tool company in the last few years? Um, Probably Gear Wrench. A lot of their stuff, other than the actual gear wrench stuff, the gear wrenches, the ratcheting wrenches, a lot of their tools were really not that good. But they've gotten a lot better. So I'd say Gear Wrench. Rudy, what's your favorite tool brand? I mean, when it comes down to it, probably Snap-on, but you know, I don't play that favorite really. I pretty much look for the best tool for what I'm doing. So usually I'm not a fanboy of anybody other than Milwaukee. Um, Chris, did you run regular meetings as a foreman? No, I pretty much talked to all the guys every day through the course of the day, checking with them, making sure, they had enough work, they're having any problems. I was always kind of, when I had time, I went around the shop and checked on them, I enjoy being a foreman. Aaron in the chat can attest to that, I guess, or maybe not. I don't know. But Aaron, I used to work with. um, Instantly, do you think in the future, as car technologies keep advancing, that will be the end of independent shops? No, no, there'll never be an end to independent shops in the United States. Um, it's the business model is just going to have to adapt. Billy D, when the other tech wants a bromance. I'm not commenting on that. Daniel BC, how hard is it to do the actuators on a 2008 Silverado? Depends on which actuators. The two on the top require dash removal. Bear, explain light line work, medium line. Light line is brakes, oil changes, filters, Um, Medium line, I mean, is just alternators, water pumps, stuff like that. Heavy line is generally the heavy bits. Death by Debt, Capri. Yeah, they've gotten good. I don't have as much experience with their older stuff. Um, as far as the older stuff they used to make, I do have experience with Gear Wrench, so that's why I said Gear Wrench. Cesar Sanchez, my bro's thinking of becoming a tech. Do you recommend tech school or getting his training at a local junior college? Um, Junior college is probably going to require the math and English classes and that kind of stuff. So it may take him longer to get his degree there. But if you got a local tech school that's not super expensive, the tech school is going to be much better. He'll get out of quicker and won't have to do classes he really doesn't need for a lot of his job. But if it's UTI or something like that, those are really expensive. Jason, what's up? Solitude Pursuit. I found some disgusting things on the top of garbage truck transmissions, not to mention the crawlers that rain out of the compactor in the summer. Yeah, I've done field calls on garbage trucks, and nothing more fun than a maggot dropping in your mouth while you're changing a brake chamber. Been there, done that. Chris, does the Tacoma water pump gasket jump junk ever get old? Not with dudes. Nope. Bostonian, I'm a shop foreman as well. I think communicating and teaching new techs are the most important. Yes, that's part of your job is, communicating through with everybody and teaching new techs as well. Death by Debt. Never be an end to independent shops. John Deere, hold my beer. There's so much backlash on the right to repair with John Deere. I think their sales will reflect that they have a bad business model. So we'll see how it happens. But even Tesla has released the reins of that. Austin, not dead. I'm 21. I just started a Toyota dealership in Express. I'm really enjoying it and can't wait to grow further. Um, awesome. Hope everything goes well for you. It can be a great career. Rudy, thoughts on UTI? I've known several techs that have gone to UTI, and it is very much just like any other education. What you get out of it is what you put into it. If you put the effort into it, they teach you a lot of good information. Is it overpriced? Heck yes. So that's it's a hard time to recommend UTI simply because of the cost. It's like a 4-year college and you come out of college in a lot of debt, and it's hard. Daniel BC, 2 more questions about Silverado. How hard is it to replace the dashboard? It's not hard. I mean, those actuators, I can have them done in like 3 hours. Engine work is easy. The hardest thing is like having to do the exhaust manifolds or something like that. Rich, if you read some of the tech notes, these kids needs an English class. Yeah, I agree with that. Mr. Jones goes, I went to UTI. It was great. Like I said, the education from UTI is really good. It's just, it's expensive. Rich Schneiderman, what brand of synthetic oil do you recommend? Well, sponsored by Quaker State, so I'm gonna say Quaker State. They only sponsored me twice, so, but anyway, depends on the application. I'm not really brand specific. I'm more specification specific. Do they carry the certification for the vehicle you're working on? If it's a GM vehicle, does it have the Dexos certification? If you're working on Volkswagen, does it have the 505 certification for that car, etc.? So that's really, um, you know, what's more important than the brand. The brand doesn't matter. Testing is what matters. UTI never had one. uh, that's because of an ST. Aaron Townsend says Chattahoochee Tech is where it's at. Yes. I think they're only local in Atlanta though, Aaron. Andrew Baldwin, what do you find is the best way to diagnose ADAS components? I actually do not have a lot of experience with ADAS. At the shop I was at, there was literally no room to do ADAS. We didn't do calibrations. There literally was no place to do it. Brian McFarland, does the military provide good training in auto mechanics? I have no idea. Philly D, I do not agree with that. But, you know, opinions are like, you know what? Ooh, I got to do a short block at a 7.3 Ford. Only pays 8 hours. Ouch. When I become a mechanic, I need to fix my reading and math. Reading comprehension is really important, especially for ASEs, and English writing skills are really important for writing up tickets, especially in the dealership life. You got to tell a good story. Yeah, death by debt. I'm not saying they don't. I don't have any experience on their actual training program, so I can't um talk about that. Rudy, go to a independent shop. Andrew Baldwin. Yeah, you need a fairly good scanner, yeah. Um Andrew, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Um Mr. AI, no. As long as you as long as Canada, I don't know about. I don't know if you're in Canada. I don't know about their certifications, but Atlanta, I mean, in Georgia or America, you just go right back into it. You just probably got to need to, um, you know, get back up to speed on what's going on nowadays. Rudy, yeah, dealers do have better training as far as everyday training. When it comes to aftermarket training, a lot of the aftermarket, like Vision and STX, etc., have really good training as well, but it's a lot more expensive and not free. So, yeah, Mr. Jones, yeah, $47,000 for UTI. If you're Bear, if you're working, ever tip a homeless guy? I've given money to homeless guys, but generally not. There used to be a guy, um, God, I can't remember his name. Freeway Johnny, I think was his name. Nice guy, never asked you for money. He was on the on ramp onto the connector in Atlanta, and he was the nicest guy. He talked to you about the Falcons, but never asked you for money. Just the nicest guy. Gave him money. He was killed. He was run over by a car in the middle of the night. He was kind of became an icon in Atlanta. Death by debt, AG and heavy equipment, you can make some really good money. My problem with AMSOIL is they will not certify their product outside using any outside testing. Internal testing is great for internal validation, but it proves nothing to me because internal tests can be, rigged how you want the marketing to be. That's why I don't like Amazon. I don't know about how good their product is because they won't pay to test it anywhere else but in their own labs. That's why. Subaru Enduro. What's your favorite M12 tool at this time? Milwaukee extended reach, 1/4 inch, high speed. Yeah, Daniel. Air suspension modules are always expensive. Death by debt. Like I said, UTI is expensive, so Timothy Newman, I don't know about Amsoil products, but they have a good website for finding oil capacities. Okay, never used it. Vala Milk's heading off. She's going to have dinner with the practical mechanic. Thanks for stopping in, Val. Chris hasn't used AllData or Mitchell for years, only Identifix. Do you have an opinion on either as a supplement to Identifix? AllData all day long. I'm not a big fan of Mitchell's wiring diagrams. They're redrawn ones. And I'm used to AllData. But having used both, I still prefer AllData. Generally, the shop I used to work at, we had AllData and Identifix. Service information from AllData, testing stuff from Identifix. Mark, I appreciate that. Rudy said Ford makes the best wiring diagrams. Oh, I gotta have me and my wife and kids gotta have a meeting here. Daniel, reading comprehension is important for service information. You got to be able to read stuff to understand how systems work. ASE is Automotive Service Excellence testing program for techs. So, so no to Hayes manual diagrams? No. Do you print the diagrams or you work off the computer? Both. Depends on how advanced I get. When wiring diagrams, if I need to, multiple pages, I'll print them out and then, highlight them and that kind of stuff. Jesse, I appreciate it. Bad shop injuries. I broke a whole bunch of blood vessels in my leg and we had to be off of it for a couple days. Really bad burn right there. Scars finally gone. That's the big ones. But as I was saying earlier, I got to get off. We got to have a family meeting. I appreciate it, Chris. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for putting up with the bad stream early on. I appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.